Here is question number 3 on unit test 2, where we are trying to see how to find derivatives of different kinds of functions. So this one is determine derivative of h with respect to x if h equals to square root of 3x squared plus 2 whole cube. So that means when we say determine derivative of h with respect to x, that means we want to find dh dt, right? This is what we want to find. What is this? That is the whole purpose, right? Oh, sorry, dh dx, right? So let me write this as dh dx with respect to x. Okay. Now the equation for us is h equals to square root of 3x squared plus 2 whole cube. So let's take derivative of h with respect to x. Since it is a function of x, we can always do it. So we get dh over dx equals to d dx of the function, which is square root of 3x squared plus 2 whole cube square root, kind of like this, right? Now we can apply many different rules here. You can use function power rule. That is probably best to apply in this scenario. So what we will do is we'll write this as a power function, right? So we'll write this as d dx of, so to see how we are writing it, it is 3x squared plus 2 whole cube to the power of half. That is for the square root. And then we'll further, I'm showing you all these steps so that you can really write it as a power function, right? So we have here 3x squared plus 2 to the power of, this is cube, so it could be written as 3 over 2. Do you understand that part? So I'm applying the power rule, function power rule, because there is a function here, so we'll use kind of chain rule here, okay? So you can interpret it either way, right? So that becomes a power function where we have a rational power here. Okay, now, so we can now find derivative using our rule, which is 3 over 2, right, times dd times the whole thing, which is 3x squared plus 2 to the power of 3 over 2 minus 1, right? So that is from the power rule, times d dx of inside function. The inside function for us is 3x squared plus 2. Do you see that? So that is the rule, right? Power rule. So 3 over 2 comes here to the power of 3 over 2 minus 1 times the derivative of inside function. So that is what you get. Now we can simplify this, and let me just complete this part. So it means 3 over 2, right, times, and this is 3 by 2 minus 1 means 2 over 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. So we get half here, right? So we get here 3x squared plus 2 to the power of half. And the derivative of this function is 3 times 2, 6x, right? It is 6x. Correct? So you get this as close to your answer. Now we'll just simplify all these terms, 3 by 2 times 6x and to the power of half. So let me rewrite this nicely. 3 over 2 times in a particular order, which helps us to solve this inequality. And we'll write this as 3x squared plus 2, right? And this could be simplified further. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and so we get 3 times 3 is 9. So we get 9x square root of 3x squared plus 2. Right. So that is our answer. So dh over dx is equals to 9x square root of 3x squared plus 2. Let's go through it and understand what we have done so far. So we wanted to find derivative of h with respect to x. So that means dh dx, find derivative on both the sides. We have written this as a power function, right? And then use the rule, which is 3 over 2, 3x squared plus 2 and minus 1. So it is like 3 over 2 minus 1. Some students may have difficulty here. So it is like 3 over 2 minus 2 over 2, and which is, 3 minus 2 is 1, is half. And that's what we get there. Then we get this function where the derivative of inside function is 6x, correct? Derivative of 2 is 0, you know that. So just simplify this part 2 goes 3 times, and 3 times 3 is 9, x, and that's what we get. And that is our answer. So that is how you do. The later how which I showed you was checking my own answer, which is the important part when you're working these types of questions in a test. Always check your answer. It takes a minute, but ensures that you're on the right path. Thank you and all the best.